We live in a time where truth feels fragmented. For every study stating one thing, you will find another contradicting it. Everybody shares a different version of reality. And so the world seems more confused than ever before. But what if I told you this confusion is no mere accident? What if misinformation has a spiritual purpose within the evolution of our species' consciousness and the human collective at large? What if the collapse of this so-called external truth is pushing us towards a place that we have, most of us, avoided for centuries? And what this place is within. You see, for thousands of years, humans have relied on external authorities, teachers, priests, news anchors, governments, institutions, experts. There is always somebody external who is telling us what the truth is. And for a very long time, society worked that way. We live in a world where truth is simply handed from above, and we're expected to simply receive it. But spiritually, this has created a collective stagnation. When you rely solely on external truth, your internal compass atrophies, your own intuition weakens, your ability to discern becomes dull. And this way, you become easy to control, easy to influence, and easy to mislead. The internet was a tool that we can use to connect with each other. It was supposed to connect us, but instead, it has overwhelmed us. We are bombarded with conflicting news, manipulated data, spiritual half-truths, political propaganda, algorithmic echo chambers, and endless opinions. Everyone claims to have the truth, but no one agrees on what that truth actually is. This creates a collective cognitive dissonance, what one may call a global Tower of Babel. But spiritually, this is no mistake. This is the evolutionary design to break down the need for external authority. Because you see, once you can no longer trust the external world around you, what are you then left to do? Well then, you are forced to look within. In almost every mystical tradition, be it Vedic, Taoist, Gnostic, Hermetic, the same law and concept appears. Truth reveals itself when all outer anchors collapse. Confusion is not solely chaos, but confusion can be seen as a birth canal. When you can no longer trust the media, when you can no longer trust the institutions, when you can no longer trust the political leaders, even when spiritual teachers contradict each other, you must begin to ask yourself the only question that truly matters. What do you feel? What do I feel? And this is not about a New Age concept that every person holds their own truth. No, but you are able to actually tap in to the universal truth of the cosmic order, of the dimension and planet in which you are residing. So now we must learn to go within. What do we feel? What do we know? What does your inner guide say? This is a pivotal moment in which spiritual evolution ignites. The seemingly bad situation of misinformation actually withholds a blessing and a purpose. Misinformation then becomes a spiritual pressure, a forcing function. It pushes you to rediscover intuition, discernment, sovereignty, inner knowing, embodied wisdom, and to connect with your inner connection to source. Almost every culture has a trickster deity, such as Hermes, Loki, Coyote, Eshu, etc., etc. What do these archetypes all have in common? They disrupt, they confuse, they break illusions, often through deception and paradox. The trickster's purpose is liberation through disruption. And within mythology, we do not view the trickster with a lens of good or bad, for it is not evil. The trickster is the one that breaks rigid structures, exposes false certainty, shatters blind faith put into the hands of another instead of to the hands of your own, and it forces evolution through chaos. So perhaps we can say, on a collective scale, misinformation is the trickster archetype in motion. It dismantles external truth so you can rebuild internal truth. We are entering a new cycle collectively, in which many traditions call the Aquarian Age. And within this cycle, we are shifting from external hierarchy to internal sovereignty. Our species will move from tell me the truth, tell me what I need to know, to I will find the truth within myself. And this is why misinformation and information overload is peaking right now. It is the birth pangs of a new collective era. The collective ego must collapse so that collective intuition can now rise. So how can we navigate these times? And again, don't listen to me, listen to yourself. But if you are open to my advice, I would tell you that spend less time online. Spend less time in taking the opinions of other people. Put down the books for a little while. Stop watching the videos. Sit in silence and go within. Now, of course, it's not that you have to disregard it altogether. Everything within balance, right? But you don't need to search for the truth outside of yourself. We now need to learn how to find it within ourselves and reconnect to that ability that each and every one of us are more than capable of obtaining. So in order to navigate this era, we must learn to feel resonance rather than just blindly believe. Sense the energy behind words. Trust your body's response. Question narratives. Quiet the mind so that you can hear the inner voice, and stay centered instead of reactive. Truth within this age is not something that you consume. Truth is something you recognize, realize. So we are now transitioning from knowledge to wisdom. The collapse of external truth is very well possibly leading humans to a single destination of inner sovereignty, a world where intuition guides choices, individuals think for themselves, discernment becomes natural, manipulation loses its power, and collective consciousness awakens. So, misinformation is not the downfall of society. It is playing out its purpose. It is in fact an initiation of society. The darkness is not winning. It is provoking the light within each person to ignite. So the next time you feel overwhelmed or confused by the world's information, just go into silence. You do not have to figure it all out today. Humanity is being forced, gently and painfully, but inevitably, to come home to the one place truth has always lived. And that, my friends, is within. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I will be back very soon. And as always, I'm wishing you a beautiful day, evening, or night, wherever you are on this floating rock.